Hey everyone, LWJ here, and while I'm away home from van storage unit here in Glendale, I thought I'd share with all of you my thoughts on Super Bowl XLVII. Now in this video, I plan on talking about various areas, if not all of them. Now I'm going to talk about the build-up or pregame show, which I call it. Before the show, before the game, the halftime show. The other aspect that I always go for when I watch it is the commercials, and of course the game itself. So let's get started. Now, the first aspect we're going to talk about is the build-up, pregame show, and whatnot. Now, the build-up was all, it's Ray Lewis's last game on the Battle of the Brothers. Now, let's get to talk about Ray Lewis. A lot of people are saying, that he's going to be retiring because that guy is a murderer. That was never proven. He plea bargained and, well, it wasn't proven. But you know what? I'm just glad that he decided he's done. That's it. No more. I've done what I could. And there are also people talking about how he was thinking. I was thinking God and all that. Especially the atheists. Let the guy do let the guy do it. And then of course there's the Battle of the Brothers, Jim and John Harbaugh. They actually had the parents at the game. Jack and can't remember the mother's name. Life of me. But they had them on there, and they were talking about how they had them in contact, and up until recently, which the last couple of weeks, they weren't contacting them. I'm like, okay, duh, because they're getting ready for the game. Now, personally, I would have done something different. I would have done something about the whole Battle of the Brothers kind of thing. I would have had, if I was a production assistant of some sort, for CBS, I would have had, or NFL, or whatever, people that do this. I would have had two boys, sitting there playing like an Atari 2600 Atari 2600, playing some kind of football game that was on that system. I know there was a football game on there. And excuse that noise in the background, because there's construction across the street from the bus stop here. And there's a bus here, but it's not the one I need. It's the 94, and I'm way on the 603. Well, go sit down here. But have had another commercial, which would have had two teenage boys playing like one of Nintendo's early systems, like the NES or Super NES, playing a football game. Then another commercial, which would show two adults who would resemble Jim and John Harbaugh, playing on like a PS2, PS1, PS2, or some other mid-gen console. PS1, PS2, 64, whatever. Then I guess have them, Jim and John Harbaugh, playing on like a PS3 or 360. But yeah, that's what I would have done. But yeah, I don't think they would have thought of that. Yeah, that or wouldn't have gone over too well. But yeah, that's what they were doing to build up whole thing like that. And that's all for this section. Then there was the pregame show, or the stuff that happens before the actual game. And that's two things: a singing of America the Beautiful and the national anthem. Well, America the Beautiful was during the whole entire time of America the Beautiful being performed, I was in tears. Because they had Jennifer Hudson singing it along with the choir from Sandy Hook Elementary, which we all remember what happened at Sandy Hook Elementary. I even posted on Facebook. If that did not bring a tear to your eye, nothing will. Then Alicia Keys came out and sang the national anthem. Now, a lot of people are saying that, why did she use the piano? Why did she play the piano while doing it? Because that's Alicia Keys. She plays the piano while she performs. Another thing that people say is that, she jazzed it up a little. So she did that. Big deal. For the most part, she's still performing the national anthem. So that's that one. Next up is the halftime show. Now, in the weeks leading up to the Super Bowl, I was kind of excited because Beyonce was performing. So I don't really like Beyonce. I don't follow her very much. But I feel that she's a better person to perform at this halftime show than last year. Last year they had Madonna. I'm sorry, but Madonna is old. It didn't help much that she had Nicki Minaj and MIA get out there and perform with her. And it further hurt that MIA flipped millions of people the bird. But up until President Obama's inauguration, I was like, this could be a good halftime show compared to a better halftime halftime show than last year, because I personally thought that last year's halftime show sucked. But then the whole thing about her performing at President Obama's inauguration, the shitstorm that happened after that, you can see how I feel about that in the previous video of mine. And, you know, I heard people say, oh, here comes the lip syncer. Or them saying, oh man, she's killing it, but turn the channel. Or Super Bowl halftime, change the channel. Heard a lot of people both on Facebook and on Twitter doing that thing. I, for one, watched it. Mainly because I was recording the game. But yeah. How do I feel about the game? How do I feel about the performance? I thought it was really good. I mean, she had her former members of Destiny's Child come and it was a Destiny's Child reunion, which I thought was great. And then, of course, there's the thing that they're talking about, how she supposedly flashed the Illuminati sign, you know, with her hands. Stupid people find anything to just talk about or criticize over. Like I said, I thought the Super Bowl halftime show was pretty good. Next up is the other main reason why I watch the game every year. The commercials. I mean, I like to see who spends millions of dollars just for a 30-second slot. And, hell, if you're paying millions of dollars for a 30-second slot, you gotta go all out. And some of these companies, some of these commercials, they did really, really well with their stuff. I mean, there was the usuals from Budweiser, Doritos, car companies, but there was also movie trailers. There was a trailer for Iron Man 3, which I thought was great. There was a trailer for Star Trek Into Darkness, which I thought was great as well. Another movie I can't remember, World War Z, which I thought was, that looks like an interesting movie. But there were some commercials were like, no thank you. Like, who out there is really getting tired of that E-Trade baby coming on? Lord knows I am. But for the most part, I thought the commercials were pretty good, and some were funny, some were you know, entertaining, some were informative. So, yeah, that's that. And now for the game itself. What started out as being a rout of the 49ers by the Ravens actually turned out to be a really good game. Because at the half, the score was 21-6. And then the opening kickoff didn't look promising, as it was returned by Baltimore for 109 yards, which broke a record. Then like about 3 or 4 plays into San Francisco's possession, I would say the funniest thing in Super Bowl history happened. That being, half the power went out in New Orleans, in the Superdome, that is. And I'm like, I was laughing. I said, you know what? This is going to take a while. So during that half hour, it was 34-minute delay, I went and got myself something to eat. Myself, my niece, I think my nephew. I got them all something to eat. My sister wasn't home. No one else was home, so it was just me, my niece, and my youngest niece and my nephew. And came back. They were playing again. Thing is, I guess you could say it took a power outage to basically light a fire underneath San Francisco's asses, because they came back and started scoring more. It was 28-6. Then it ended up being 34-31. Baltimore scored a couple of. Baltimore scored a couple of. Scored a couple of field goals. Then and San Francisco, I think, had a couple of touchdowns, a few field goals, and a safety. That last play that San Francisco had before they turned the ball over on downs, that last series, when they were right there in the red zone, field goal wasn't going to cut it at the time. Because Baltimore's up by 5. Four plays. Oh man, it was horrid. Well, here's the thing. I saw during the game a couple of meme pictures. Meme, M-E-M-E. And one had Jim Harbaugh. He's like on the sidelines, and it says, "Well, Mom, John won't let me have the ball." Then another one showed the picture of Jim Harbaugh on top, and below it had John Harbaugh like this, and it says, "Mom, Jim turned off all the lights." Made me laugh. I mean, okay. And I was tweeting during the game, saying, "What the fuck? Come on, Kaepernick." And I said at the half, "Here's my suggestion for San Francisco: quit throwing the ball to Moss." Every time they threw the ball to Moss, it was just he either dropped it or it was picked off. I got someone talking to me. But and I said, finally we got a touchdown. A bunch of other shit and a bunch of other stuff happened, and they put up on vote for your choice for MVP, for Super Bowl MVP, and I said, well, if San Francisco wins, I'm going for Kaepernick. My choice for San Francisco for MVP, if San Francisco wins, my choice would be Colin Kaepernick, because he was doing great. My choice for MVP on the Baltimore side, the Baltimore one, which they did, was Joe Flacco, and he ended up doing it. Because Joe Flacco was doing a lot better than the last time the Baltimore Ravens were in the Super Bowl. Well, that quarterback was Trent Dilfer, but that was a defensive Super Bowl right there. Well, and there's a lot of people out there who are saying, oh, San Francisco should have won. Yes, they should have. But unfortunately, they didn't. And a lot of people are saying that the refs were biased. If they were, oh well. But all in all, you gotta admit, it was a great game. I think it was like one of, if not the most highest rated Super Bowl, which I wouldn't doubt it, because it was a great game. So that's all on my Super Bowl video. That's all on my thoughts of the Super Bowl. And I'm still working on my review of Looper. I gotta film it. And after that, I'm gonna do a review of The Last Stand. And until next time, this is LWJ saying thank you all for watching. See you all next time. Take care of yourselves.
You think you know me?